I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
The world has changed. None of us can go back.
Avengers Endgame. Even though this is the definitive ending in the Infinity War saga, this is the one we've all been waiting for 11 years of MCU films. As we weigh through the Avengers Endgame, join us. I'm Frank Russo in New York.
And I'm Ryan Martinez in Los Angeles. Avengers Endgame. I'm a huge fan of this franchise, and this movie is one for the ages. Before I go any further, this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie, you've been warned. Check out one of our other movie reviews below if you don't want to know the outcome. Okay, back to the highly anticipated Avengers Endgame. This movie was written by Stephen McFeely and Christopher Marcus and directed by the Russo brothers, Anthony and Joseph. Hey Frank, you know these guys? Any relation?
Oh yeah, we go way back. I taught those guys everything they know about making movies.
That's the word on the street here in Hollywood too. Okay, let's dig into Endgame. There's so much to love about this movie, and yes, as many of us anticipated, the movie's plot uses time travel to navigate the story. In this movie, the focus is put back on the heroes, unlike the last movie, Infinity War, where much of the focus was on the antagonist, Thanos. The time travel theory is different in this movie compared to other movies. A reference was even made to the movie Back to the Future. But like I said, time travel in this franchise is a bit different. In the MCU world, if you go back in time and change something, it doesn't necessarily affect the future. It's more like an alternative future or a branch is created. There was a fantastic and touching scene in this movie where Tony Stark meets his father before he's even born. As a matter of fact, they talk about how his mother's expecting him. And another instance in the movie, the heroes are looking for the Infinity Stone, and remember that there are 3 stones in New York at a particular point in time in a past MCU movie. So they go back in time and they see themselves in a past movie from a different perspective. I thought it was a real fun spin on the story. The entire all-star cast did a fantastic job with their characters. All your favorites are back in this film, and a couple new characters from the comic series are introduced, like Captain Marvel. But my favorite character in this film is still Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I was sad to hear his contract was up with Marvel, and this is going to be his last film in the MCU world. He was the one who put the whole franchise on the map with the success of the first Iron Man. But they did honor him by giving him a warrior's death and seeing him off in the most noble way by saving humanity and all his superhero friends. If you're an action junkie, you will not be disappointed in this movie either. This movie had the most heroic battle scene I've ever seen in any movie ever. Damn, it was legendary. It made other superhero movies look like a middle school thumb war. But it did take a while for the movie to get up to speed. The first 45 minutes or so of a hefty 3-hour runtime, mind you, is needed to develop characters, story arc, and get the audience caught up from previous MCU films. But even the slow opening scenes I thoroughly enjoyed. This is one you don't want to miss. If you have time, make sure you experience this one in the theaters. I love just about everything about Avengers Endgame. The characters, the story, the CGI was mostly on point considering how much of it there was. I give Endgame 4.5 out of 5 on the RF scale. So Frank, you always have an interesting perspective on these films. What was your experience with this movie?
In my perspective, it was a great movie. It was a movie with heart and soul that brought the action we would expect from a movie jam-packed with superheroes. It was the fantasy of heroes bringing us hope and strength to our everyday lives. This movie elicits the innate emotions of love And of course, the triumph of good over evil. The character development was excellent throughout. With so many characters in the movie, each of the heroes were blended into a difficult concoction that made it seem plausible. All the actors delivered, with Downey and Evans providing excellence in their roles, as we would expect. The action moved smoothly and became even more magnificent as the movie progressed to the end game. There were a few disappointing aspects of the film that made me feel it could have been better. One was in Thor. In my attraction to the character throughout the series of films, he became one of my favorite heroes, but my disappointment came in seeing him reduced to a fat, drunken slob, with no physical change even when his emotional state prevailed to greatness again. Come on, even if he was broke for a while, make him turn back into the hero we all came to love. Another problem I had was to see the Hulk half man and half monster throughout. What the heck was that? I always loved the change that came in troubling situations. He seemed to be a comical character in this new form, and I wanted to see a serious superhero movie. It was the same situation in Star Wars that introduced Jar Jar Binks. To me, that was toddler comedy, inserted into an adventure that was supposed to be a movie for everyone. And finally, at the end of the movie, my favorite hero, Captain America, was reduced to a frail persona trying to bring out his love and emotional fulfillment. Okay, fine, but don't change the character I came to love. Leave him alone. And I keep asking, why would he want to quit? Why would he give his shield to a mortal man that did not have any superpowers to take his place? I have this thing. I only want one Captain America, one Iron Man, one Hulk. That's just me. It may seem like I've got a lot of gripes, but even with my disappointments, I'm a big fan and still love the film. All in all, it was a great movie and definitely worth seeing on the big screen. I give it 4.5 out of 5 tickets on the RF scale. Let us know what you think. Please subscribe, comment below, and hit the notification bell. Well, Ryan, I'm a bit torn. I'm sad to see some of the characters leaving the franchise, but I'm also very interested to see how the new characters are introduced in later films.
Well, Marvel has already confirmed that they have several new films in the works, including a Black Widow film starring Scarlett Johansson. I'm interested to see how they bring her back, since they did kill her off in this movie. What do you think, Frank? Will they bring Black Widow back to life with an Infinity Stone in the future, or will they have the movie based in a previous time period that leads up to her death?
As far as Black Widow is concerned, I'll watch Scarlett Johansson in anything, but I bet they'll make a movie out of her beginnings and how she got that red in her ledger. That'll be cool.
Like you said, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. To the viewers out there, thank you for watching the Ryan and Frank Show and our review on Avengers Endgame. We appreciate it. 3,000.